it makes me wonder, because as you're going through it, to your point before, you're clearly knowledgeable about it. You're super passionate about it, almost to the point where somebody could look at it and say, because it feels like my assumption is there's a lot of genuineness around. There's a lot of authenticity. You can almost see somebody seeing it and say like, oh, that can't be real. Like he's a you mentioned you're a salesman, right? He's just a salesman. He's just trying to sell the product. I imagine that might be a struggle at times, because you come off, like I said, so confident, so knowledgeable, so passionate about it, because I think you are, but there's a little risk there. How do you manage that?
Yeah, I mean, my I would say, first of all, my tone with you is a much more like conversational, like just this is what I know, this is what I these are the things that I am knowledge about or have knowledge about and want to talk about right now. When I take calls and when I talk to people, I would say I just start with a different tone. I think tonality, as far as how we communicate, is like super important when it comes to people believing whether or not you're authentic about what you're talking about. I have taken calls after a business meeting. Let's say I'm in a meeting with my other executives, or I'm in a room with managers, and I have to lead a group of people and tell them what we're doing today. And then I take a sales call, and I still have that like director tone. I'm like, hello. And it's like that doesn't work, because they can read my tone right away. That this guy's just a bossy salesman. So tone is, like, I would say, my biggest factor as far as like how I promote authenticity. It's the same reason why I try not to text people too much. If I want to talk to someone, I usually will have a call, or I'll use the voice memo iPhone feature, just because texting is, again, you're removing tone from the whole thing. So unless you know the person really well, or kind of where the conversation is, you really have no idea what they're even where they're coming from when you say things over text. So tone is my biggest answer here.
I think that makes a lot of sense. And I think that, it's to your point, like, you want to understand people. You gotta, if you want to help them, you need to know what their problems are. Absolutely. And to some extent, I'm trying to say this in not in the wrong way, but like, you need to help them help themselves. Like you need to figure out where they might be thinking about something wrong, or where they may have a blind spot or some bias or something. And again, that's a dangerous balance to strike, because that can easily be used in the wrong way and you take advantage of somebody. But it's the same if you want to help them. And so I think you have to kind of take that approach. Yeah.